What's up, everybody? This is the first of a few videos slash podcasts, if you're listening to this, that I've put together over the last couple of days of the games I got to play and teams I got to talk to who are making the games for E3. I got to talk to people that are under the Freedom Games publishing label. A lot of indie games, small stuff. This first one here is called Monster Outbreak. It's made by a studio called the GameMunchers. It was established last year. I had the pleasure of talking to Adriano about the game. Now, I will tell you ahead of time, the audio here is a little choppy because the connection on Discord at that specific time of the day decided to be a little wonky. So I apologize for that, but you should be able to understand most of what we're saying. There's just a few laggy pauses and things like that. But enjoy. Monster Outbreak is a Stardew Valley inspired kind of tower defense building and survival game that's multiplayer. You fight waves of monsters that spawn in the islands that you're on. You can craft and enchant weapons and staves and all sorts of cool stuff, and you take on waves with like siege tactics. It's kind of great. I enjoyed it a lot. They've got some multiplayer plans of having a bunch of people be able to do it with you. And the boss at the end of this specific video that you're going to see Adriano take on is ridiculous and very cool and changes at the last stage and absolutely wrecks him. And he makes the game. So, you know, it looks pretty cool. So check it out. And I'll talk to you or see you. You'll see me later.
But then later on down the road, I said to myself, I'm done with managing servers, focusing on server stability and all that stuff. I wanted to just make a very nice quality single player game that people will love.
Sure.
And that's where this game came through.
Awesome.
Yeah, this game is more inspired from the whole. So, did you ever play Call of Duty Nazi Zombies?
Yeah.
So I love the aspect of just having friends over, playing waves of monsters with your friends.
True.
And I like bonding off games. So like that's was so fun for me. And that's kind of the idea where I got from this game. It was a game where you could just survive through waves of monsters and just play with friends and have a good time.
Yeah, that's dope. What did you so like it has a pretty distinct visual style that I think fits into like a genre of indies. What was your motivation to use this style?
I want to say Stardew Valley was beautiful. I love the way they made a pixelated game, and it was a very high quality pixelated game.
Yeah,
I love that. Like our trees when they fall, we kind of honestly use that as a reference. We looked at Stardew Valley, like, oh, that looks good. We should do something like that.
yeah, for sure. I
So
noticed that. I like it a lot.
yeah, right.
Yeah,
Thank you. So as you can see, like we have comic book cutscenes, and then we have in-game cutscenes. The comic book cutscenes more talk about the in-depth part of the story, and the in-game cutscenes are more just dialogue in the game.
sure.
And like Stardew Valley, if you play the game, you notice that pixel art is very like high quality. Even though it's a pixelated game, we try to make sure the environment feels as alive as possible. Because coming from MMO background, I don't like feeling restricted. I don't like going to an area and being like, why can't I go there? Just like I hated when I played games and I couldn't go in a certain area and there's no reason why. You know, they didn't tell me why, just I couldn't go there.
Yeah,
Like,
there's
I felt
an
so
invisible wall or something. Yeah,
you know what I mean? I hated that.
yeah.
Here, you know what? Wait. Sorry. So yeah, I'm having a bug right now. Give me a sec. Let me restart it.
You're good. You're good.
Here, let me try this. So there's this rare bug that happens where see this text box? It didn't pop up.
Yeah.
It just doesn't pop up. It's really we're trying to pinpoint how it happened, but
Yeah, bug crushing is
yeah.
a pain. You gotta like, how is this happening? Where is it happening?
The reason why this bug is a pain is because it only happens once every like 70 tries. So it's
Sure.
like it's so hard to pinpoint because we're so early in the game development process. It's like I found it out while I was testing with media people. So it's like we don't have the time to like figure out small bugs like that are just such a pain.
Yeah, yeah. It's always the
But
like stressful part is when you get ready to show it to a bunch of people and you know that there's a
yeah.
few things but you can't quite find them to shut them down. That you're like,
Yeah,
let's just hope it doesn't happen.
literally, yeah.
Yeah.
it hasn't happened today except for right now. So yay!
Yeah,
But
I'm a good luck
it is what
charm.
it
What can I
is.
say?
So back to what I was saying. So we really focused on like the small things, like as you can see, like we have the wind, everything blows in the wind, like all the grass you can even you can even gather the grass.
Hmm.
We have birds that you can run at and they fly away. We have the frogs. Everything we try to make it very like the environment feel very alive, even with the water reflections and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks
And
really good. There's a couple of things that like I remember playing Stardew Valley and really enjoying its aesthetic, but there are a couple of things that I wished, and one of those was that like things just moved a little bit more. A lot of that game's static,
yeah,
which is fine. Like I don't think that it makes the game look bad. But I one of the first things I noticed hopping in this is that like everything's constantly moving, and not everything in like a neurotic sense, but everything in that like
yeah,
you can see the wind and the grass, the trees kind of shake, the grass is all moving. It's
yeah.
very nice.
And we made it so everything's so even like the stumps, you could gather the stumps.
Yep, I
So
noticed that
everything's
too.
very alive.
Yeah, it's really good.
I
Uh,
didn't want to be sorry, talk.
oh, you're good. The like base building and like tower defense element. Why? What was my question? Sorry. Like what? What motivated you to build out in that way instead of just like regular like dungeon crawling or like zone clearing?
So just talking about the building mechanic of it. Is that what we were talking about right
Yeah,
now?
the building
Or some
mechanic, and then like also building traps and walls and different like defenses.
so that's a good question. So we wanted a survival game.
Mm.
That's what we wanted originally, but we wanted more to it. We wanted something we like. I like personally customization. I like options. I like being able to do whatever you want to do. So building was fun because now you could build your own base. Now you could build traps. Now you could build. There's a very diverse way to play this game. So you could fight with your sword, fight with your axe, fight with your hammer. You could make a wall everywhere. You could get crossbows. You could do traps. I like diversity, being able to choose how you want to play the game
True.
versus being restricted. I don't like I like freedom because like when people play games, they want to have a fun time. They don't want to feel restricted like they have to go through a certain way.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's why building was when we started doing building, we just kept adding and adding funner and funner stuff to do.
Yeah.
So as
Yeah.
you can see for the cooking, as of right now, you cook food and when it's done, you could go up and eat it. But we're thinking about maybe making it so you could pick it up and walk around and eat with it. We're not sure yet, but
Yeah. Right now, you just eat it when you pick it up, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, because it's so early, we haven't had that many testers yet. Once we have
Mhm.
more people to test the game, there's certain things that we'll be able to see like what works better, what people like more, and we could change things up.
Sure.
Even the
Yeah.
building.
Yeah. And like the timing, I imagine as you like when you start to cook meat, right? That timer, that like timers for building things, those all might change just based on feedback and how. I guess it kind of depends on how urgent it is, right? Like when you're
Yeah.
building things here, especially in the tutorial island, like there's not a lot of things happening. But if you're, further in the game and you've got more intense waves coming and you need to build something real quick, I'm sure that there's going to be like a testing curve that's like we had this set at this time, but it was too short and it wasn't hard enough for people to survive, so we made it a little longer, and then maybe you make it too long and have to cut it back. That's all stuff that will come with time, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure. As we once we get more tests, more content, and we get more testers to test all the content, things are gonna be changing.
Yeah.
That's just it. It's game development. But yeah, this is like the base we have, and honestly, I'm happy about it. Things like the building, it's like it gets a little annoying at points because like what I notice playing the game is like I'll have to move around. Like I'll be building, and then like I'll be in the spot where I want to play something, so I'll have to exit out, build
Move.
again, and then build. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
sure.
annoying.
Yeah.
So things like building, we're trying to think how we could do that more effectively and nicer.
Yeah.
Because like I said, it's still a little. I do see it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
So
maybe it's not like a big change. Maybe it's just a small like indicator or something that makes it work. Like I said, I like the way it's set up. It feels unique. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I think once we get testers, we'll figure out how maybe we'll make it pages, like you said. Maybe
Mhm.
that'll be a little better versus scrolling. We'll see
Yeah.
what people have to say.
Yeah.
So this is the lobby. So how it's gonna work is there's the shop where you can buy weapons, buy more structures, and all that.
Mhm.
This book is gonna tell you like what structures do, information on the structures, information on the NPCs and the monsters, all that, leaderboards. And then so how this is gonna work is with the progression of the game. Let's say you beat this level, now you're gonna unlock a city, and in the city there's gonna be a new shopkeeper with more structures, more weapons. So you're as you progress through the game, not only are you unlocking maps to play game modes like survival mode, but you're also unlocking more weapons, more structures, and all that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you mentioned earlier that you liked the idea of surviving, waves with friends. Is that planned
Yeah.
for this too, to have the ability to invite friends and do this co-op?
So yeah, split screen, online multiplayer, local multiplayer, that is all planned for this game.
Awesome.
That's something we definitely want. Because like I said, like this game is gonna the quality of the game is gonna be very enhanced when you're playing with friends, for
Sure.
sure. So that's gonna be needed in my opinion.
Yeah.
So one sec, let me just reopen the game
Yeah.
because now I'm gonna show you the one wave and the boss.
Yeah. Sounds awesome. What ideas, I'm sure
Because
it's
it
early. What ideas do you have for like scaling the difficulty when you add friends, right? Because if it stays the same
yeah.
like enemy intensity with one person versus three, it's going to be a little easy to push through. What are your ideas for that?
Yeah. So balancing wise, we're gonna have to do that with testing with obviously people. But then my options are either A, we're gonna higher the HP and damage of the monsters, or B, we're just gonna spawn like double the monsters.
Sure.
One of those two, when you have an extra player,
Hmm.
we'll scale it based on we'll see like the difficulty with let's say double the monsters versus half the monsters when you have two people,
Hmm.
and we'll see if it actually fits because it's hard to it sounds in theory it sounds like it would work. You double the monsters, two people. But at the same time, it might be too flooded. It might you never know
Yeah.
how it's actually gonna play out, right? It's easy to
Yeah.
say in your head,
Yeah. And you
but
never
to
know
actually
if it's
happen,
going to stress the engine or something like that. Yeah.
yeah. But I would think more like it's just too you have to see it. It has to happen
Right.
versus it always in theory. It's not always what it seems it's gonna be.
Right.
So this flag, for example, make sure the monsters don't spawn in your base
Yeah.
because that's very annoying.
Your screen share just ended, by the way.
Oh,
You're good. I
I'm
don't
here
know why it
building.
happened, but it just happened.
Whoops.
You're good.
Can you see now?
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, that flag that I just placed, that make sure the monsters don't spawn in my area.
Right.
So I'm gonna make a bunch of crossbows right now. Let's build this. I'm very determined to beat this boss today. It's very annoying because like I faced him like 9 times, and honestly, like I've only won like once or twice. And the
Sure.
other day, a media person was doing the interview with my colleagues because I was not available. But I looked into the interview and I seen he was playing it. So I was watching and he beat the boss and I was like, really? I was like, he can beat it and I can. Like I beat the games.
Yeah. It's always funny to find
Just
out
show
that like the people that make it aren't always the best at it. It's
yeah.
always great to see that stuff.
It's like I felt so defeated. I made it and this guy's playing it better than me. It's like
Oh,
probably his first time playing too.
wait until you see people speed run your own game, and then you're like,
Uh,
that I didn't even plan for that to be the way this is played, but like they find a way to do it, and you're like, cool, I guess. Like that's not how I made this, but all right, it works.
yeah, it's like okay, sure. So as you can see, you can upgrade things. So I'm gonna upgrade this to a fire crossbow. There we go. 2 fire crossbows. And now this, when this goes to the end, the wave will commence
Right.
of the monsters. But because I'm ready right now, I'm gonna hold Z and make the monsters just spawn.
Yep.
Get some arrows. Okay. So as you can see, all the monsters, we made them have very different attack patterns and attack styles. Like this monster has a very big attack distance,
Sure.
and this one shoots bombs.
Oh. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting.
Just to make sure that you don't want the combat to be stale. You don't want the same
Right.
monster just to look different attacking you. That's why we have this. They all attack different. Like these salamanders are a pain. They destroy everything.
Yeah.
And these things, when they do attack, it's annoying because they attack like everything. They have a big area attack.
Yeah. Do they can they attack your like crossbows and break them? Yeah, it looks like one of them is kind of broken.
Yeah, they can break the crossbows. They're a little bit cracked
yeah,
right now.
I see that crack. Yeah.
I went for a distance.
I'm see the first time that you saw the bug so far was when our call started. Now the first time you're gonna beat the boss is also gonna be on this call. Like I said, I'm a good luck charm. You got it.
So this guy's a pain. So this guy you have to go up to. He shoots his spikes, and now he opens up. Now he could do I can do damage to him.
Oh, interesting.
While he's open.
Okay, yeah.
Now as he closed, so now I gotta open him up again. Oh. Yeah.
Nice.
So this way it keeps the combat. It just keeps it fun where you don't need to. It's not. You don't want a predictable game, like I said. You want it. So you have to fight every monster differently.
Sure.
So yeah, this guy again. He attacks. Now I can hurt him. Because you could attack him when he's in a shell. He'll take the knockback. He'll go back, but he won't take any damage.
Sure. It's nice too because it's not something that I imagine it's not something that you tutorialize, so people have to kind of figure it out on their own. And that, like you said earlier, keeps combat fresh because you're not just hitting things until they fall over. There's a couple of things that'll be like, no, you can't just hit this. You have to figure it out.
Yeah, pretty much. And what we're thinking of doing, you see how I'm upgrading the structure right here?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have the same thing for repairing the structure
Sure.
too.
I was about to ask that question.
Yeah, because someone asked that earlier on, and I was like, why didn't I think about repairing? Like, yeah, that's definitely needed.
Yeah, sure.
Like, why does small things just sometimes you just don't think about, right?
Sure,
Until someone says
yeah.
it, and you're like,
Oh, I
yeah, it
totally
makes
should have done
sense.
that. Yeah.
That's like small things like that. Once we have testers and like even common sense things, you just miss because there's just so much you gotta worry about, right? Sometimes it's those small, easy, common sense things you just don't think about until
Yep.
someone mentions it and you're like, oh yeah, obviously. So yeah, we're definitely gonna be adding repairing in. It's not in yet because it just did not cross my mind.
Right. That's what things like testing are for. So people can bring things up and you go, oh, you know what? Yep. And then when you release it later,
Yeah.
you can act like it was just your idea and no one will ever know.
Yeah, it's all my idea, you know.
Yeah. I came up with this without needing any input because I'm a genius. It's
Yeah.
fine.
And then all the troll comments be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. The one person who suggested it's like, well, I definitely
Yeah.
said it once and you said you hadn't thought of it. And you're like, stop. I'm trying to look cool.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna skip this and this is gonna be the boss that I'm hopefully gonna beat.
I have faith.
Gotta get set up this. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna keep him by the fire crossbows.
Sure.
Let's go back.
Good dodge.
I haven't hit a HP yet. I'm doing good. Oh,
Don't say
jinxed
that.
it.
See, you said it. And something happened.
I jinxed it.
Now, does
Okay, you
he
just
have
destroyed all
different
those trees.
animations as his health gets lower?
I don't know. We're gonna find. I'm joking. Yeah, no, he does.
Okay.
Just
Let's
doesn't
find
answer
out
either. You
together.
see in 2 seconds. No, I think it's around here where you're gonna see what happens. He just breaks apart. Ugh, come on. I'm not gonna risk this. I'm just gonna get some HP right now.
I like the crater he left when he landed.
I know. There it is. See, now he's ahead. Now this is the
Oh,
pain.
okay.
That I didn't know. He just. Do you see that?
Yeah, he just dashes
He
at you?
just. No, he just. See the rocks? They just came out from the water. That's a bug. I never seen that before.
Sometimes rocks come from underwater. Apparently.
Yeah, apparently. Apparently. Okay, I'm out of stamina. That's where this gets difficult. We gotta make this. Okay.
You gotta get back to base and get some food.
Yeah, this is not. This is not. Oh my god. I'm trying not to use my stamina right now. Come on. Heal. It's not turning out good.
Oh.
I had no
Oh.
stamina. That was the issue. I know
Yep.
if I had stamina, I would have been fine.
Yep.
But like,
you rolled out of your stamina and you were done.
I need to be more conservative. Taking notes for next time.
Yeah, that's great though. The fight gets a lot more difficult when he's just a floating head because he just starts
Yeah, right?
throwing stuff at you.
The rocks just like come like crazy and they start lasering too. It's just like it's stressful. But yeah, so any questions you have about the game? Anything you want to any feedback?
No, I think that question-wise, I don't have much to ask that I haven't already asked. You said that you've got multiplayer plans. How long do you want the like playthrough to be? Because it seems like it's built to be kind of roguelike, right? Where you play until you die and then start over.
Well, that's how survival mode or other game modes would be. But
Okay,
campaign, no, it's gonna be like, for example, this is the first level of the game is gonna be 10 waves and then the boss.
sure,
And then the second level of the game is gonna be you're gonna go to a city, excuse me, and then you're gonna see an old man. It's gonna be nighttime and his house is gonna be destroyed. And he's gonna be like, "Can you please repair my house because the monsters are attacking and like I have nowhere to go." So you're gonna repair the house while fighting off waves of monsters. Once you repair the house, that's that level. So all
sure.
levels are gonna be different in that sense. And for you said how long is the story gonna be? Was that the question?
Yeah, what's the how long would you plan for that to last?
So as of right now, we have 20 areas planned.
Okay,
So 20 different areas in the game where there's gonna be campaign levels.
sure,
And it's really hard for me to tell you how long because we're still working on the first level.
sure. Yeah,
So how long? I can't really say that. But I can say there's gonna be more than 6 bosses. There's gonna be a lot of monsters. There's gonna be a lot of content. Like
yeah.
a lot of the campaigns lengthy, and on top of that, then we're gonna have a lot of side things like survival mode and stuff. So a lot of replayability in the game.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds dope. And if you have 10 waves per level, that can last anywhere between, if you skip because you're prepared, it could be quicker. But if you take your time each round, it'll go longer. So people will be able to rush through it if they want or take their time. What are
Yeah.
your plans for release? Do you have a timeline? Do you have anything in the air that you're aiming for yet?
So we're aiming for early 2022,
Okay,
the early months. That's the goal. But we can guarantee it's gonna be released next year. That's
sure.
something guaranteed. But early 2022 is the goal. That's what we're hoping for.
Nice. Yeah, this looks like a lot of fun. I played Stardew for like 100 hours last year. Between last year and this year, I discovered that game very late. But I found out that I love that style of game. So when I started this, like I said, my first thought was, oh, this person likes Stardew and wanted to use some things from it. And so I appreciate that a lot. And yeah, if
Yeah,
it's got all the survival modes and the long campaign, definitely something that people will dig into. I think it looks really good, man.
I appreciate Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
All right.
thanks for
So
having
thank
me,
you for
man.
taking time out of your day to play this game. Have a great one, man.
Take it easy, Adriano.